All right, welcome to another episode of the Empowerment Perspective Podcast. This is Overtime. I go by the name of Demetrio Josie alongside.
Spencer's here.
How you doing, good sir?
I'm doing well. I'm tired, but it's been a long day.
Long day, man. Why are you so tired?
School. Like going back to work 6.5 hours. Man, that's rough.
How's those heels doing? You got the heel fixed.
I'm off injured reserve. But that's a good thing. I did take some advice from some of the ladies that we had on that last show. They was like, "Yo, suck it up, buttercup," and put a Band-Aid on there. So the Band-Aid did work. Our wonderful nurses did look me out and make sure that I was able to finish the day. Like, that was a long day. I don't think people understand how long of a day it is when your feet hurt.
Especially when you haven't been on your feet all summer and then you get back in the teacher. Those are the worst, like 2 or 3 weeks. You know what I mean? Back hurt, heel hurt, and all that other nonsense. No,
I agree, because it's similar to like if we were playing football, it was like I strained my hamstring for the first week. I had to go hard. And that first day I went hard. I was everywhere, first floor, second floor, and I was easily aggravated because once I got that blister, I had instant attitude.
You went and soaked that foot in some Epsom salt.
Epsom salt, absolutely. It got some Hennessy as well. Ease that pain.
Yeah. I just read an article that vodka is like good for that kind of stuff.
Well, I love watching old westerns. I know every time somebody got shot, they were drinking whiskey. So I don't know if it's vodka or whiskey, but if you're on a low-carb diet, then I would say you go ahead with the vodka. If you don't care about your carbs, go ahead and get yourself some whiskey.
That is funny. I want to ask you a question real quick,
sir.
Because a lot of people have been hitting this up and be like, well, what is the Empowerment Perspective group all about? I put a little video out there, but if you put it in your own words, what do we do?
We inspire and empower people. That's plain and simple. That's really all we do. And then we try to have fun at the same time. I think that people are trying to figure out how we're so successful. And like I said before in the radio show, we have the number one podcast. It's us, right? And then it's Drink Champs, and then it's Jalen and Jacoby. Those are the ones that I watch.
You want to say it's Die-Line. Nah, it's all good though.
Yes.
But yeah, our little audience is growing. I shouldn't say little. It's getting bigger and bigger. The more people we talk to, and the more we push this thing out. Now I got people requesting Facebook friends I don't even know and all that stuff, and I got to keep the business and personal separate and all that. But it's interesting, and people are recognizing, and we got some things coming up in 2019. I keep telling people that 2019 is going to be a big year, so everybody need to get these stuff together.
It's going to be big.
It's 2018 over. Fourth quarter's already over.
Pretty much.
Wrap it up.
We're going the last couple of minutes of the quarter. So,
That's it.
But yeah, I'm waiting. I'm excited. Soon we start releasing some information. But you got a party coming up next week.
I do have a party.
I got
a couple parties, actually. By the time this podcast come out, I'm actually on my way to Harrisburg tomorrow because my nephew's having a cancer remission party. It was his last thing of chemo.
Okay.
So we're going to go party it up big up there in Harrisburg for him.
Can you have fun in Harrisburg?
I never partied there before, so I can't. I mean, I drove through it plenty of times. My brother lives kind of outside the city, but I never really. I'm going to find out. I'll report back to you.
Yeah, let me know, because I think of Harrisburg, I think of museums. That's all I think about. State capital. It is the state capital, right?
Yes, it is. So me and the first lady are going to go down there and hang out for a little bit and do our adult thing.
Still can't see you guys hanging out unless you guys going to be at the museum.
We have fun no matter where we go, so we could be anywhere. Franklin Institute, we going to have fun.
Franklin Institute is fun.
It is fun.
Yeah, that's Philly, though.
So I got that party, and I got another party coming up. Having all these birthday parties.
I'm gonna send you the picture that they're posting around of you, because I don't know if I'm like living a movie where as though that they think you're dead. For some reason, they think you're dead. And it was a movie, and I actually had to ask a substitute today, have you ever seen that movie with Bruce Willis? Because I really think that I'm seeing dead people the way they're acting like you're dead.
Dead people.
I'm doing a podcast with a dead person. Huh?
That is funny.
Everybody know I got issues.
We should do a live podcast at my funeral. Apparently, that's what this is.
At your memorial?
Yes.
I don't know. Some people make it fire.
I'm just joking. We ain't gonna do that. But we are.
We should set the camera up at least.
Yeah, set it up. Set the camera up.
It could be like a wedding. I've never been married before, but I hear that you can set up a camera and people like give you shout outs. So I think we should bring the people.
Ain't the wedding? Some weddings they pin money to you. That's what I
heard
want.
about
That's
that
what I want at this party. They need to start pinning.
You want
20s? I want 20s. At least
20s.
At least 20s.
Payday. You might want to get $100 bill.
That's true. It is payday.
It is payday.
Now, listen, EHT, I better come correct. I'm on hundreds on here. So, but we are down here in Millville. Actually, not too far from from our radio station. We're at the,
really like down the street.
Literally down the street.
I think what 10th Street, on 9th Street.
Mm-hmm. So we're at the Phenom Factory down here, and this is all about baseball.
Yes,
This
I love baseball.
This your zone right here.
Man, listen, I love baseball. I do not like watching it, but just the idea of the sport is absolutely great.
How you gonna love it? You gonna watch it?
Because it takes too long.
That's petty.
And listen, it may be
really
petty, but the game in itself, when you're playing baseball, it's so many things going on at one time. So when you're playing, you're trying to figure out exactly what's going to happen next. Because if you're on defense, you know which pitch is coming. You know that there's a whole lot of situations that's going on. So if you're playing shortstop, you know that the ball's hit to you, then you know you got to go to first. Or if a man on first, you know you can try to double play. There's so many things that has to happen within a split second. But if you're watching it, like, man, he hit the ball to shortstop. He couldn't hit an outfield. After a while, you get tired.
So it's a thing is man's game right now. So you know,
It's like chess almost. Yeah, it's similar. It's probably the closest sport to chess. Because it's slow paced.
And watching chess, you can't watch it. You get bored watching chess too. So
listen, you can get up and you can. Actually, I know people that play a whole game of chess. It takes almost like 3 months.
They play by themselves.
They sit there and contemplate that next move. It takes 3 months.
Oh man! So who we have on set today?
We got my guy. We got to talk about. He got a new job too.
He got a new job.
We got a connection in Miami.
He going what? Miami.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah. Introduce yourself, because you actually was on the radio show. We was actually talking about finance. So introduce yourself, sir.
So guys, my name is Sergio Correa. I'm one of the baseball instructors at Phenom Factory. I have a new job. I'm going to be working with Amazon. I'm going to be a senior talent coordinator there. So I'm going to be going out there recruiting people in high school, college,
Really?
and recruiting for their like entry level jobs and their warehouse jobs.
Right.
So,
How did you get that job?
So luckily I got it on LinkedIn. So they had like a military hiring. They said, hey, you're military, send us your resume, we'll send you a job. So I sent my resume, they sent me this job. I was like, oh, cool. So I wanted to work in either PA or New Jersey. But Miami was my third dream choice. And they're like, hey, you know what, we'll give you Miami. And I'm like, oh, cool, even better. So I went through a couple of webcam interviews, and then they ended up offering me the job a few weeks ago.
So LinkedIn really works.
It does.
Okay. Listen, there are a lot of people who are really skeptical on LinkedIn and these just liking people and connecting with people, and they don't really do anything with it. But we have living proof.
Yes,
that
LinkedIn.
Yes.
That's how I actually connected with Sergio on LinkedIn. So when I was scrolling through, trying to find someone that can actually talk about, EOF or talk about recruiting for college, he responded like that, and he was like, "Sure, I'll come on." And he was right here in the area. I said, "Man, this is good."
So anybody that work for LinkedIn, listen, we'll do a commercial for you. We've proven that it works. And this is how this podcast sort of goes farther and farther through LinkedIn. So shout out to them.
Doctor from Pittsburgh. Who do we have? LinkedIn.
Robert.
Dr. Robert. Yes, absolutely. So
It
works.
It's
LinkedIn works. And make sure you friend us.
Right. So how did you get your love of baseball? Where did that come from?
Oh man, so growing up, my whole family they love baseball. Baseball is really big for us. We enjoy watching it. We enjoy playing it. My mom had played softball growing up. My dad played baseball in Puerto Rico growing up. He coached me. My cousins, watching my cousins play. Just having my older cousins, just playing with them all the time, and they actually made me better growing up. Started playing travel ball, got a love for that. Now, so my senior year of high school, I tore my labrum in my shoulder. I was a catcher, so
still have difficulty believing it. If I stood up and Sergio stood up, you'd be like, "Yo, ain't no way in the world he was a catcher."
But so I ended up being I was a catcher. I started umpiring at 16. So when I hurt my shoulder, I was like, what can I do to stay in baseball, but I can get paid for doing it too? So I was like, you know what, I can umpire. So I umpired, went to Cooperstown, umpired there every year. Very similar to like the Little League World Series. You get to see like the best travel teams all over the country. This past year, I got the championship game. I was a plate umpire, which is probably the biggest thing. Out of 52 teams, you have 52 umpires.
Wow, so
six guys. Yeah, I was a crew chief.
Okay.
So out of the 6 umpires, I'm the guy in charge, get the balls and strikes. So. And then I ended up got the opportunity to start working at the Phenom Factory, so I ended up showing my love for baseball and instructing kids individually. I was doing clinics, so I actually have a clinic tomorrow. I'm doing my catching clinic tomorrow, so I work my kids there, working on leg strength, endurance, teaching them the proper way to catch, because that's probably the one thing I can see over the 1,000 years I've umpired. I don't see coaches really teaching kids how to catch properly. So that's something that I love to teach, and how to just teach kids how to like catch a doubleheader and not be tired or exhausted afterwards.
Right.
So I actually played just a little bit, and from my perspective, there's two positions that are the toughest to actually work with as far as teaching them fundamentals, which is pitching and catching. So for parents that are watching, like, what do you recommend to be able to get them to be able to, I guess, be able to learn how to catch? Because again, you have some catchers that are set up directly behind the plate. You have some catchers that will set up too close to the batter, where so they actually get hit by the bat. You have some catchers that will set up so far away, whereas though the umpire has to be in back of the catcher. Now the strike zone is nowhere near where it should be because he's too far back. So how do you teach someone to catch?
So for myself, like, thank God I was a catcher and an umpire at the same time. So like the kids that end up moving themselves all the way back, one thing I always teach them is, like, if you're gonna catch, you can't be scared. That's the best thing to teach them. And when a batter comes up the bat, so if we're in the batter's box, boom, I'm the batter here, you're the catcher. So if you could put your hand or his glove on your foot, he is safe. He cannot be hit. And that's why I teach my guys, hey, you're good right here. So I scooch him up all the time behind the plate. But it's funny too, because one time growing up playing travel ball, one of my coaches had told me, he was like, the two positions you'll always be recruited in college or to be able to play in high school or college baseball is pitching and catching, because they're so hard to find, especially a good catcher.
Good catcher, right? Wow. Now let's go back to you when you were an umpire. Did you ever throw a coach out of a game and he kicked dirt on you? Like I see, has that ever happened to you?
Oh man, I've had that, and I've had worse. I've had a coach wanted to fight me on the field just because he told me, he's like, remember, my league pays you. And I said, sir, this league needs me more than they need you. So he was like, what did you say? And then he was like, oh, I don't know if he didn't think I was Spanish or not, so he started cussing me out in Spanish. I'm like, sir, you know, I understand exactly what you're saying.
That is too funny.
Let's talk about the unwritten rule. Like, as a coach, all coaches know that you're not supposed to argue balls and strikes. You just don't do that. Because what will happen is that strike zone for your team will get huge. So big that the ball will be over his head and umpire strike. And there's nothing you can do.
That's petty.
Well, you're not supposed to argue. You can't do that. You cannot argue balls and strikes.
He's not going to admit that he does that.
I'm not going to say I've never done that. But.
All right. Now, what about when it gets to be about maybe 6 o'clock and you want to go home? Now, does the strike zone get a little bit bigger? Not for you personally, but for other umpires. Because I've seen guys start speeding up the game, and the strike zone is huge around 6 o'clock.
See, my thing is 6 o'clock is when we start the game.
Oh, okay.
So when we get to like that 8:30, 9 o'clock, and I'm like, you know, guys, I go to the players, swing the bat. So if I know the kid, I'm like, hey, tell your team to start swinging the bat. Let's go, come on, let's get it moving.
You ain't supposed to do that, man.
That's it.
That's why that coach wanted to fight you in the parking lot after the game.
So we're here, and so as I was looking at some of the kids work out, I want to talk pitching. Now, when you're training a kid to pitch, do you teach them to step on top of the rubber, in front of the rubber, or off to the side, closer to third or first? Like, where's his foot placement supposed to be for that balance?
So for myself, with some of my kids that I teach, so a lot of people they call it the cliff lee. So a lot of kids, when you start off on their windup, they'll have 1 foot on the rubber, 1 foot off, and that's in their windup. Off to the stretch, they're gonna be right in front of the rubber. So they can push off the rubber, so they can throw a little harder, use their leg strength. That's what I try to teach my kids. So I try to find whatever is more comfortable for them. So if they want to throw from the stretch, which I usually teach, that's when their foot is right in front of the rubber. Usually that's the easiest way to get more repetition. Your throw mechanics are gonna be more the same. If you throw from the windup, a lot of times you might get a little bit underneath the ball, you might get more on the top of the ball. So it depends on the kind of player you are and how comfortable you are. So I always teach my younger guys, especially my 8 and 9-year-olds, throw from the stretch first, get comfortable doing that. And if they're good ball players, then I'll let them don't start with the windup and see where we can go from there.
Wow.
That's probably the easiest way to do it.
Wow. So let's talk about this building for a little bit. How did this place come to be?
So what happened was, from what I know from the owner, one of his sons went on the baseball team, played in an academy in Berlin. They didn't like the way it was run. it was very like political. So they ended up saying, you know what? They met an investor. They were talking about what happened to their kid. Investor was like, well, if you want to run the business, he's like, I'll invest in you guys. You guys do it. They're like, are you serious? He's like, yeah. So they ended up finding his warehouse. The two owners ended up doing all the work basically themselves. And they ended up opening it up. So that's why there's kind of not a team that comes out of here, because they want people to come here and not kind of like Planet Fitness. They don't want to have that they want to have a judgment-free zone. They want their kids. They want any team to come here and not feel like there's a Phenom Factory team. Any team can come here and anybody can come and play, and kids can get their work in if they need to, and with different instructors that way.
Gotcha. And what's the address that we're at here, and then how can people get in contact? How can
So you can actually either you can Google the Phenom Factory or right on Facebook for Phenom Factory, and you'll be able to find us. Our lessons are actually really cheap in the area. For a bucket of baseballs, you just want to come hit about $5, not even for a bucket. For a bucket, not even.
Well, okay, per hour for the cage. What are you guys charging for the hour?
For the hour, I think it's about $35, and you get a pitcher machine included as well.
You guys have like self-feeding where it's automatic, or you have to have somebody with
You
you?
have somebody else. So we have like the jug machines, and then we have our ATEC machines, which they throw a lot harder. So they throw about 90 miles per hour. You can get it up there. I don't even get it up that high for myself, but usually you can get it that high if you really wanted to.
And softball too?
Softball, yeah. So our jug machines integrate to either slow pitch or regular softball. So you can actually get that up to, that machine goes up to 60 miles per hour. So at 45, it's actually pretty good. And that's usually what a lot of even our high school pitchers throw as well. So it's pretty good.
Now let's switch just for a second. I want to talk baseball bats.
Okay.
Now, for a parent that's really not too familiar with baseball bats and the sizing, like how does a parent know what size bats to use for their either son or daughter?
The best way without explaining to parents, really, really old school. So I have this kid stand up, grabs a bat, puts it by his side. It's about his waist height. So for me, I use a 32. It's about around where my waist is. So for high school players, they all have to use -3s. So it's so if it's 32, it's going to be 29 ounces. 33 is going to be 30 ounces. But for younger guys, it's going to be more of a feel. The kid has to be comfortable with it. I always say if it's light, let him swing it, so he can get used to it, and then let him gradually work his way up, especially when he gets 13, 14, 15. So if you're 13, I would say -5. Anything that's a -5 would be great. And then 14-year-olds, let them start swinging at -3. They may swing and miss a lot. The bat might be a little heavy, but they're gonna have to use them when they're 15 to get to high school anyway. So that's why I always try to explain to parents. Unless you have like a really small kid that's like me, that I was 5'2", growing up my whole life, I used a -8. Until I was able to swing that -5 to -3. So until I got some more strength in my arms, and was able to get up to that level.
What about glove selection? Like as far as can you tell us the difference between an infielder's glove, outfielder's glove, and possibly what they may use at first base?
So for outfielders, I usually recommend either definitely 12 inches or bigger. Okay. So for a younger kid, I would say 12 inches is more than enough. If you're going to play infield, you kind of want a smaller glove. So I use 11 and a half, but you can use between 11 and a quarter to 11 and 3/4. That's going to be your infielder glove, because you want a smaller pocket. You want to be able to really get that quick release out. And then for your first baseman, usually it's just whatever. You can get smaller style first basemen, but you just want to get whatever fits that person's hand. If you got a big kid that's 6'3", 6'4", he can get that bigger glove, that bigger mitt. But for a younger guy, you want to get something that's going to fit him. So definitely like a 12-inch first baseman is going to work out perfectly. It's weird because like catcher's mitts, I still use my same catcher's mitts, about a 31 and a half. Usually guys that are older, like my age, use about a 33 or 34 inch, and I think it's like humongous. Right. But for me, I have small hands, so it's kind of hard for me to get around the baseball and use it. But for your older guys, I would say younger guys, 31 and a half, 12 to 14, depending on their hand size. And then when you get into high school, say about 33, 34. That's what they're going to use in high school for catcher's mitts as well.
Now, should parents invest a whole lot of money in equipment early, like Little League and Babe Ruth, even though they may not be using this same equipment in high school? Should they invest a lot of money?
I say personally, a bat doesn't. I don't think a bat makes a difference for a player. I would say if you're going to invest in anything, invest in a good glove. Invest in good glove, invest in good catcher's equipment if they are catchers. Because catcher's equipment you can grow into. So like for myself, I had the same catcher's equipment from my freshman year of high school all the way until like last year, until I was 22. I just bought new catcher's gear, but usually catcher's gear you can grow into, you can stay in it. But I would say for bat wise, unless the kid, like, the only time you want to switch bats is if you're 13 -5, 14, 15, you can use that -3 for a couple of years. Just take care of your stuff that way. But I wouldn't say invest too much into your bats, but it depends on the level of the player. If you know your son's pretty good, then you know what, then maybe buy that for them.
Now, you mentioned catcher's equipment. Do knee savers actually work?
So what I teach in my classes, if you go through one of Sergio Correa's catching clinics, you don't need knee savers. I would love for you guys to come to my clinic tomorrow to see how I work my kids.
Be on the radio. You supposed to be on the radio tomorrow too.
I'll be there. I'll be there. But my kids, after literally 45 minutes of my workout, they're like, I think I want to take these knee savers off. I said, you know what, take it off for next time. Because your legs get so conditioned that you don't need them. But knee savers do help if you have a kid so I remember we were talking earlier about kids playing all year round. So if you have a kid that's catching a double header, yes, please use the knee savers. Because kids shouldn't be catching double header regardless of the fact. But I would say if you're catching multiple days, yeah, use the knee savers if they're not conditioned all the way that way. But if they're getting conditioned, getting some clinics in, like going to Sergio's clinics, then I would say, yeah, you don't need them anymore. You'll be fine.
Are you an advocate for players playing year-round, especially at a young age?
I'm not. So personally, baseball was my number one sport. I did play football. I did play basketball, but baseball was my number one sport. But I don't. I would say kids can play. Let kids play spring, summer. If they want to play fall, I think they should commit fall to just Saturdays or like one day a week, so the kids can more practice. But if the kid just wants to play baseball, okay, just let them. But let a kid get the opportunity to play basketball. For whatever reason, my dad always said, play basketball, you get taller. I'm still 5'6". But
so wait a minute. His theory was the more basketball you play, the taller you're going to get.
You just realize, all basketball players are tall. You know, maybe if he jumps, maybe they'll stretch him out.
Had nothing to do with DNA. Nothing at all.
Mind you, my dad's like 5'11", I'm 5'6". I'm like, my mom's 5'2". I'm like, Dad, I got the right height.
That's funny. I mean, I'm an advocate for especially in high school. Unless you know that that's your sport and you really going to go to the next level. Even then, I would say enjoy your high school career, sports career, and if you're an athlete, play as many things as you possibly can, because you're never going to do that again in the organized way in some of these games. Like, you know what I mean? If you're truly a baseball player but you love basketball, you got 4 years basically, and that's it. You're not going to play any more organized sports. I think a lot of parents and a lot of kids do themselves a disservice, and then you kind of, some of them get burned out. You know what I mean? And then they start hating the game and things of that nature. I'm not sure with baseball, but for other sports, like when I was getting recruited for football, they wanted to see that I was an athlete. They can teach me how to play the game of football, but they wanted to see my versatility, you know, basketball and running track and all that stuff. So any parent that's out there, expose your kid to as much stuff as you possibly can. When they get a little older and you start seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, then you can probably start bearing down on it. But I think we're doing, a lot of these kids, especially, like I said, the really, really little kids, like let them enjoy their, being a kid. You know what I'm saying? So
I think the toughest part, because like most of these guys that play baseball are really, really tremendous athletes. And the difficulty with me watching is that the managers don't allow them to show off their skills. They're doing too much coaching and not just letting them play. When you go back to guys like Pete Rose and you talk about like a Andre Scalaraga and you talk about like a Barry Bonds. You watch SportsCenter and you see the highlights that these guys have been. You're impressed. Even my other guy, which is Yasiel Pugh. Like I've never seen anybody be able to throw the ball like Yasiel. Never. He's a freak of nature. He's what LeBron is, but they do not let him enjoy the sport no more. When he came onto the scene, he had so much energy. I'm talking about he's throwing from a wall, maybe 340 feet on a line to like third base. I've never seen nobody with that much arm strength. Bo Jackson running up the wall when he's going to go out there chase a fly ball. So
and a lot of these athletes, even if you throw Mike Trout in there, he played
phenomenal.
basketball, he played different sports and stuff like that, and he knew he was going to play baseball. I mean, that was his thing, but he also played those other sports as well. And I don't know.
You guys told me about the other guy, Kennedy, that came through here. Can you talk about him a little bit?
Yeah, so Buddy Kennedy, his grandfather was a batting coach for the Brewers. He actually works here as well, so we've done clinics together, and his body type is very similar to Mike Trout. Mike just a little shorter, but same body type, same width, very, very fast. hell of a ball player. He's also very humble as well. So you can have a casual conversation with a kid that's going to talk to you just like anybody else. He's just so good. His swing is just remarkable. He'll be sitting. I'll be having my clinic with my 9-year-old right next to him. He's just, boop, 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 boop. You're like, the kid's like, I don't want to hit no more. I'm done. I was like, he's scared me over here. So he's definitely a phenomenal ball player. He's doing well in the minor leagues, and I can't wait to see him. I can't wait to see him come up, because just me knowing him personally, just seeing him grow up, just a good ball player all around.
That's dope.
I mean, because right now Millville is really a hotbed, and I think it really started with Mike Trout and his success. And once he became a national name, everybody just started flocking to Millville to see what was going on, and more importantly, to drink some of the water to see if they can catch what Mike Trout has. Because, again, like you said, you coached against him.
I coached against him. I was coaching at Hamilton, and he had the ball center field. That ball still probably still in the air. I never seen nobody hit like that. But again, looking at somebody like that, you just knew, like, he was super fast and super strong, but the nicest dude that even in high school level, he was like super humble. You know what I mean? But he was a great athlete. I coached against I can't say his last name, but Matt Cesar, I believe.
He's Kate Mason, right? Okay.
Another one that I saw him all right, he's a monster. He's a man playing against boys. Like, you knew he was going to do good things. But,
He's a pretty decent football player too, wasn't he?
Another one that played, multiple sports. So. The parents out there, stop putting your eggs in one basket. I mean, obviously you need to guide them in the right direction, but don't. I can't stress it enough, because I see it every single day.
Got to diversify.
You got to diversify your portfolio.
Absolutely, diversify. Yes, make sure your son and daughters play more than one sport, because you never know. And then again, the experience in the relationships that they'll build, like they're building social skills, they're learning about teamwork, and they're learning how to take orders and be humble. I think that's one of the things that's key to Mike Trout's success, as well as Buddy Kennedy's, because they're coming from families where as though that they are really humble, and they don't think that they're better than what they are, even though the whole entire world believes that they're great.
I think they learned a valuable lesson in the other sports. They learned about failure, right? So they wasn't necessarily the greatest basketball player or whatever, and so they learned how to deal with that failure. Where, like say on the baseball field, you knew that they was going to be.
Can't wait to baseball season.
Can't wait to baseball season. But you learn a lot of life's lessons. Like I tell people all the time, I'm more interested in my failures than my successes, because that's where you're going to learn to grow, and that's how you're going to learn how to handle adversity, something that this world definitely needs to learn how to do, because you're going to fail.
Absolutely. Now, I want to talk about the big issue that's going on in the NFL. Sergio, I want to get your take on it. What about the guy that quit at halftime? How do you feel about that?
Matter of fact, I'm out.
So I see that. I was active duty Air Force for the last few months. I'm a reservist, but I was in my hotel room and I was watching that, and just to see him say, he's like, I just realized that I'm like, I just don't have it anymore, and I'm just like, you could have just waited till the end of the game to say, guys, look, man, I got a cramp. Let me sit. But I just thought that was, I thought it was a little childish.
Come on, man. Everybody and their grandma had that vision and that dream of quitting.
I thought about quitting today. Every day I think about quitting.
In the middle of an important meeting, I'm like, you know what?
Yes, today we had a meeting after school. I'm thinking, you know what? I don't even want to do this no more.
That is too funny. I mean, he had that feeling before he went in there. I get it, but at the same time, I respect the fact that he was bold enough to be like, he turned the shower on in the locker room. Everyone's like, yo, what you doing?
At halftime? Like, it ain't shower time yet. Well, remember we were down in Atlanta, right? And we were talking, and we had the young ladies from Baltimore, and we had the guy, I think he was from Oklahoma. And they was like, yeah, we had teachers in Baltimore that just quit the middle of school year. Like, and I'm baffled. Like, what do you mean they quit? I actually stopped the conversation. I'm like, what do you mean they quit? It's like, yeah, they decided they weren't coming back to school. They're just done. I'm like, just left the kids hanging like that?
I'm like, you know what, I'm out. They all seen that episode, that show from, that scene from, what is it, Harlem Nights? I ain't coming back home.
Oh, absolutely. Lady Sunshine.
That's where they all got it from.
You mean he called the coach on the phone and said, listen, I ain't never coming back. Tell the team, I ain't never coming back to work.
Oh, yeah, put mommy on the phone. That's funny.
Well, I mean, I think that the way he went about it was, and I agree that he could have handled that a lot better as a professional. And you never want to be someone that's going to quit on your team, because those guys were counting on him.
That team.
That team.
I think I might.
That's all we got.
I think I might have rolled.
That's all. Yeah, he's like CMB. That's all we got. So I mean, he definitely could have handled that a different way. He could have waited to the bye week and be like, listen, I don't know if I'm going to be able to continue playing. But it's about 5 million reasons as to why he should stay.
He should have waited to third down and long when he was on the field and just took his helmet off in the middle of the play.
Did you see the guy? Which team was that? He was on a kickoff return. He fumbled the ball. He ran into the end zone. His helmet came off, and then somebody tackled him. They called a penalty. Let me see the highlight. They called a penalty because they said the guy should have known that his helmet was off when he tried to tackle him. Like his head was bleeding and everything. I'm gonna send you the highlight. I was amazed. I'm like, yo, how you gonna call a penalty on a guy he's trying to tackle him? And his helmet came off like you open game.
Should have knew his helmet was off.
Oh, we got to get back to baseball. That's football. So you said the cages are $20-$30 an hour, and you have talking about the hit tracks machine because I've seen that online. Tell us about that.
So with the hit tracks machine, it's actually pretty good. So like,
we have another guest. Introduce yourself, sir.
My name is Alex. I'm the general manager of the Phenom Factory here.
Okay, so he was going in. Sergio was talking about the hit tracks, but now that you're here and you're free, tell us about the hit tracks.
All right, hit tracks is a batting simulator similar to a golf simulator. It's probably the easiest. Most people that have the familiarity with that.
Okay.
What it does, it gives the kids a visual feedback on their exit velocity, launch angle, all the big hot buzzwords in baseball right now. We've had it since we opened up 3 years ago. So we're hoping to use that as a training tool. We also use it as an entertainment tool because you can do home run derbies. You can play a simulated game. And allows the players really just to compete against each other in a virtual virtual environment and also learn at the same time.
Okay, and it sounds like fun. Now I also seen that you had mentioned that you guys do a home run derby. Now, have you actually went on the machine yourself? How many did you put out?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I think he's challenging you. I think that's what's happening, right?
What is your number? How many you putting out? And what stadium?
Not too many.
Not too. Okay.
To be honest, I'm more of an average hitter. So.
You're a base hitter guy. That's the type of guy you are. Okay. What about
I've seen some real big shots in here. We've had kids that have hit a baseball over 105, 107 miles an hour. We've had slow pitch dudes hit it.
They hitting Chapman?
Hit one.
You mean to tell me you got a kid right now?
Exit velocity.
Oh, I thought you were talking about they didn't hit Chapman. I'm about to say, listen, you got a
This
kid.
guy probably could. Harry probably could have hit Chapman.
definitely.
Yeah,
Harry can hit Chapman?
Yeah, he probably could. Yeah.
Wow. How old is he?
He's just graduated college.
Wow.
He's from Bloomfield, but it's a lot of fun. It really is a lot of fun.
What got you involved in this?
Well, I've always loved sports growing up, and then when I had kids, I was a coach, and just kind of fell in love with that. Just was always always wanted to be involved with my son and my daughter in that regard. And there was one time we were playing for a team and it didn't really work out. It was a little far away, and the way they handled the situation was a little unprofessional. So we decided that there was a need for it to be handled a little differently. So we were like, we're looking at our area as a hotbed, as I heard you guys talk about earlier, and try to seize an opportunity and to provide we were traveling 45, 50 minutes to go to this place. So for that to happen and then not really be worth it, we're looking at the kids around here like, wait, our kids need a place to go. At least our Cumberland County region, are 40 minutes away, kind of a target,
right.
And just wanted to provide a home for kids to come practice, and luckily we've seemed to do that so far, and gotten lucky to have guys like Sergio and other parts of our coaching staff that are doing real well here, and helping us maintain a high standard and be that place for the kids to come to.
I think you hit on three important factors in terms of business, and I want my audience to really understand this. Is that one, you saw a need, and then two, you based it upon service. So it wasn't necessarily you were chasing money; you was chasing service to the community.
Exactly.
And then the third important thing that I always preach, I just posted something about this, is having the right people around you to make sure that this goes right. So I just wanted this, as a sidebar for our audience to understand that. That's just something that we preach all the time with the empowerment perspective, and this is kind of how it came to be. We saw a lane. We want to do service, and we put great people around us. We put great people on the podcast, and you guys are doing a phenomenal job here. A little that I saw things here. The important thing I saw was that these kids enjoyed coming in here.
Oh yeah, and you guys only saw like a small glimpse. Like that's the best part too, is seeing kids go from. We've had kids that started out when they were 8 years old. Now they're 11. Now they're getting like coming into themselves like, whoa, kid, you're getting big. Like, so just to watch them grow as players and as kids, and. It's the best part about it is having the smiling faces, the family being a part of it and stuff like that. That's where I think a lot of things are kind of lacking is kids being innocent, having fun, remembering it's a game and it's supposed to be fun. Even though you train hard and you work hard and stuff like that, it's a game. Games are meant to be fun, and smiles are part of it. So the more we see of those, that's the better.
You hear that, Sergio? It's supposed to be fun. You ain't supposed to be cussing at no coaches, throwing people out and all that stuff. It's supposed to be fun.
Well, I'll say this, because when I played baseball, I won one game in high school. It's a lot funner when you win.
Yeah.
So when you go 1 in 79, it's not that fun.
Yeah, the Cleveland Browns.
Listen, we were worse than the Cleveland Browns.
That is awesome. Oh man! So let's switch gears a little bit because I listened to the radio show, but I don't think you asked him the traditional question.
Listen, because you wasn't there, right? And I have a problem with time management, and we were all over the place. So the reason that we didn't get to the question is because you weren't there to provide the structure. You gave me the keys to the kingdom, and we were all over the place.
It's like you give your 17-year-old keys to the car for the first time.
Yes, absolutely.
You're like, listen, you need to be back here by 8. Green roll in at 11:30.
11:30. I'm coming in at 7 o'clock in the morning.
Car, no gas in the car.
At 8 tomorrow.
Yes, and I crashed the car and didn't say anything. Like, wasn't it like this when you gave it to me?
Empty McDonald's bag in the back seat, all of that stuff. So we got to ask the traditional question.
Are you guys petty?
It's quiet.
I get crickets now.
I'm a petty umpire when it comes down to it. Yeah.
We do that. We already discovered that.
You get to 8:30, 8:45. He's like, listen, the game need to be ending because I need things to do.
Would you consider yourself petty, sir?
I don't think so.
Okay.
No,
All right, here we go. All right, here we go. All right, so you don't get upset when someone rents a whole bucket of balls, but they don't pick them up. Yeah. See, I've been in the cage 1 or 2 times.
Let's make some noise.
Absolutely. Because you're looking at
Job
it like, so
security,
you ain't gonna pick the balls up, dude? You're just gonna leave all the balls all over the place?
We actually combat that we have a sign that says, "Have you forgotten your keys? Do you have your phone? Or all the balls picked up?" Just to kind of be like nice and like subtly like throughout the end, like, hey, don't forget the balls. But hey, first question is, did you forget your phone? Do you have your keys?
That sign is petty. Y'all should just cut to the point.
Make sure you pick up all the balls.
Oh,
I'm not going to go
thinking
and
about
chase them. You the one that was hitting them. I'm not going to go chase them.
Well, gentlemen, we definitely thank you for your time and
Absolutely. Thank you for having us
down there. And we're gonna blast this out as much as we can to the people in South Jersey. Make sure you check out the Phenom Factory.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm a little tired, so I'm trying
Listen,
to.
I told you I was going to quit today.
This coffee ain't kicking in yet, but
right.
the Phenom Factory down here in Millville. If
Yes.
people want to get in contact with you and the organization, how can they do that?
We have a Facebook page, the Phenom Factory. We also have a website, thephenomfactory.com. We're also here 7 days a week. You can give us a call at 856-300-7400. And we can set you up with private instruction. We also do birthday parties too, so we're not just a batting facility, so we do have a little bit for everybody. And check out our website and come on down.
This is what we want to do. How much is a bucket of balls?
$5.
$5. All right. How much money I got in my pocket right
You going to hit some balls?
now? No. That's what
You
we
going
want
to
to do.
loosen your shirt up, yes?
We want people to come here. So
Okay.
you come down here, you mention Empowerment Perspective Group, you'll get a free bucket of balls on us. We'll
There
pay
you
for
go.
it for you. So make sure you do that. Make sure you say that Empowerment Perspective Group, and we'll make sure you get a free bucket of balls. How about that?
Sounds
How
good.
we supposed to find out? How we supposed to find out?
Listen, I'm going to talk to my man right here.
Yeah, we got you.
I always call the phone like,
Yeah.
we got 50 people here. They don't want to
No.
We got it.
We got it.
We're going to put a cap on it. But we got it. So we'll do, how about the first 20 people? We'll do that. That's how much money.
First 20 people,
That's all I got.
come in and mention the Empowerment Perspective podcast.
Yeah.
Get a bucket of balls.
Bucket of balls.
There you go.
Okay, we'll do that. All right, we'll do that.
All right, gentlemen. So, behalf of the Power and Respect Group, thank you for your time.
Yes,
and
thank you.
Thank you so
all
much.
that stuff. So, any last words, sir?
Oh, congratulations on the new job. So,
Look like we going to Miami, baby.
We got a connection in Miami, so don't be surprised if we're knocking on Amazon's door. Absolutely. Talking about surgery, we need to do a podcast in Miami and get some lemon pepper wings. Absolutely.
Yeah, right.